Hiya, I've driven up to Galloway Forest Park up in Dumfries, just sort of southwest of Scotland, because I've been wanting for some time to see if I can get a Milky Way picture. And this is one of the UK's, I think it was the UK's first dark sky site. So I drove up this morning. I'm camping for a couple of days in the car, and we'll talk more about camping in the car later, because it's something I'm doing for the first time tonight. This is a Milky Way experiment, and it's also a car camping experiment. And I am just to suss it out, because I didn't get here too long ago. I am in a lay-by, so I'm quite close to a road, but I'm set back a little bit. So hopefully I'm going to be okay, and I'm not going to get moved on. And it's also a bit overcast, but that's the look of the draw. We'll just have to hope that clears for tonight. The forecast's not bad. So we'll have a bit more video later when it gets darker, and at some point during the next couple of days I'll talk a bit about camping in the car in this RAV4 of mine. I've thought about camping in it for a while actually. A couple of years ago we were camping down in Wales, near Snowdon, on the Mac Loop where the fast jets go through, and we went down in my mate's van. And we set the tent up, and we had somebody pointed out, he said it's funny, you know, that we drive somewhere in an insulated tin box, and then we get some cloth out and put the cloth up next to it, sleep on the floor under the cloth. And I thought, yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if there's much sort of interest about camping in cars. And of course you Google it and you YouTube it, and it's a big thing. There's loads of people, loads of ways of doing it, and it's a massive thing, it's car camping. And especially now, I think in the last year or so, when people have been a bit more hard pressed to get further afield, so it's sort of wild camping, but yeah, in the car really, as you know. So we'll talk a bit more about that a bit later. As I said, this is my initial setup, which is going to be home for the night. So it's an experiment. I'm sure it'll get some tweaking. Right, the sun's on its way down, so before it gets too dark, I said we'd have a few words about the car and what I'm doing with regards to camping in it. As I said, the sun has just gone down behind that mountain over there. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And the midges are just starting to come out a little bit more, which is normal for Scotland, I think. The little citronella candle is doing very little, but I've got my spray, so we'll have to see how we go. So yeah, it's a 2008 RAV4. Basically, I've got the bed in the back here. There are loads of videos online, and lots of people do various things, and I've seen them build cupboards and all this sort of thing. And one of the things that people do is build a flat platform up here so that you can put storage underneath, which is great for storage. But what I quite like about this is I can sit up. I can sit up in here. If you build a platform, obviously you're nearer the ceiling, and then you're a little bit off the roof, and you can't sit up. I prefer to be able to sit up. Now with the RAV, now I'll have to take the camera off the tripod, so it'll shake about a bit, but here we go. Right, let's have a look. So in here, the thing about the RAV, the seats don't go down exactly flat. There's about a 5-inch lump on the seats. So what I've done, I've just built a little platform here, which just takes, and that's velcroed down actually, so it doesn't move about. And that just goes to the back there. There's also a towel, because it could have been a bit longer. As I said, this is an experimentation trip, just to take that little gap up, which I'll show you in a minute. Let's go around here. And that's the gap where the piece of wood finishes, and there's just a little step which you do feel in your back if you don't cover the step up. Now, at the back of the seat, there is just room for me to lie down, but of course you get a gap. So I must admit, stole it, I think, from a guy named Tristan on SUVRV on YouTube, is this idea. So here we've got a gap, and what I've done, I've got a piece of wood. Let's move that out of the way, like that, which rests on another piece of wood, which just sits nicely on the seat back, on the headrest. And then a bit of paracord up behind the seats, just hold it up, that goes on there, and that fills that gap up. You've got a bit of storage underneath to put whatever. Again, nothing new in that, that's been done a million times. It's an experimentation, as I said, and that towel is there because, believe it or not, Here I've got a gym mat for a bit more padding here to flatten it out, and a self-inflating mat. And without the towel, the little nozzle bashes up and down on the wood when you lie back on it. So we'll do something about that at a later date. But for now, there's the towel. That stops it. Blanket for a bit more padding. There's my sleeping bag. Pillow on. Job done. Right, privacy again. Nothing unusual. Just the same as everybody else has done. I've put most of the things in. This is Wicks radiator liner. It's foil backed, sort of foil backed bubble wrap. And what I've done, I've cut it out, trial and error, took ages, to the shape of the window. And here it's a bit loose, so here are some tile spacers which hold it in the back nicely. Usually it's just a snug fit. And on the back, I've just covered it in duct tape. So the duct tape black goes to the outside. I've made some smaller ones here, and they just push into place. So if I put this one in and try to do it one-handed, it goes in something like that, and I probably can't get it in one-handed anyway. But yeah, you get the idea. It does go in. I've had it stuck in the window anyway. So yeah, and for the front seats, what I've got a piece of blackout material which is yet to go up, and this will be trial and error. We'll see if it works later. And for now, I've just got a piece of paracord stretched between the grab handles, and I am going to pin and clip the piece of blackout cloth, which is somewhere on the front seat, I think. Just here, piece of blackout fabric from eBay. And I'm going to pin that up, and hopefully that will give us a bit of privacy. I'm going to drape that behind the front seats, so effectively, for whatever reason, the front seats just look sort of normal. It'll look a bit less like somebody sleeping in it, if that actually matters at the moment, but that's what I'm going to do anyway. Again, we'll see if it works. Yeah, and in the back for now, as I say, I didn't want to spend lots of time. I've got a few ideas for a bit of a cabinet to go in the back with a couple of drawers, but I didn't want to spend all my time getting ready. I thought I'd rather go for it, see how the camping goes. So they've just got me the decathlon table, which is very nicely, and the box on the back seat, which has just got my bits and pieces and some food in. That fits nicely under the table when I'm travelling. And yeah, and just a bag of clothes in there, just a bit of a hold all, and that's it really. That's about where we are. So yeah, that's the tour of the car and the camping setup. The sun's just gone down behind that mountain over there, and you can't see them on the camera, but the midges are really starting to buzz around, which, as I say, is normal for this part of the world, in Scotland anyway, in the summer, in my experience at least. So we'll probably have a bit more video later. Certainly have some in the morning, and hopefully we'll be able to get a bit of astrophotography, a few dark sky photographs later on, if it carries on staying clear. There's some wispy sort of patchy clouds around, but with a bit of luck it might get clear enough later on, and we'll have a bit of video perhaps later, but certainly some in the morning, when, or in fact if, I've slept in the in the car, fingers crossed. And yeah, so from me and the midges, more later. Right, decision made. I'm going to relocate up to the coast a bit later. It might not be as midgy. It looks like it's going to be cloudy anyway, but if that clears, that'll be a bit of a bonus. And we'll be at the coast, which is nice. Evening, quick update. I've relocated up the coast to Ayr. I thought the sea breeze might keep the midges away. I managed to find a parking spot at the just on the edge of the esplanade there. Instead of the sun in my eyes. There we are, just right next to the sea. So it's 9:34 and it's still pretty light. As I say, it gets dark quite late up here. Cracking sunset though. So we'll hang around for a bit, and we'll hang around all night, but we'll wait until it gets darker a bit later. And skies, there's wispy clouds about, but it's not too bad. And with the absence of the midges, with a bit of luck, let's hope we can see something and get a few shots of the camera later. We might not, but I shall let you know in the morning. Cheers. Right, I'm back. It still wasn't clear enough for any staff photography, but not to worry, and the car camping went really well. I was really pleased with it. I'm going to give it another go very soon, so I'll be making a few changes. I've got a few ideas, so watch out for those. I'll make another video. Hope you enjoyed this one, and thanks for watching. Cheers.